That's right, the fun formula. Welcome, everybody. I'm so excited today. I have one of my favorite people on the Coffee Break Show. I want you to meet Joel Comm and get to know him and like him and know everything about him. But first, I want to welcome you. You are on the Success Secrets for Business, Family, and Life channel. This is the Coffee Break Show. We go live Monday through Friday. We share tips, tools, techniques, and inspiration, motivation, and all those things are going to help you create thrivability in your life. And then on top of that, this is brought to you by the what is it? What is that? Metadime Digital Network. That's where we're working from, the Metadime Digital Network. Listen, if you're new here, put your name down below. Be part of the conversation. Say hello. And if you're here every day, like a lot of you are, thank you for being here. Put your name down below. And I just want to welcome Joel Comm and tell you about him. Joel, welcome to the show. First off, I'm so glad you're here.
Always a pleasure to speak with you, Vickie.
Thank you. I'm so excited. Now, I want to let you know something. I want to tell you about Joel. And I know all of you could go on the internet. All of you could jump up and go, here's Joel Comm. He's got a wiki page. You can say anything you want. Good morning, Joel. So great to see you. And Karen's on. Hi, Joel. So great to see you. I'm not sure who this is. Good morning. Got my coffee logic. Good morning. This must be Peter. Well, I'm glad you guys are here falling in. Thanks for coming in. I want to tell you about Joel Comm because Joel Comm, everyone, he's spoken all over the world, 30, 40, 50,000 people in audiences. He's got the #1 cryptocurrency podcast in the world right now, the Bad Crypto Podcast. He is the New York Times bestselling author. He is a serial entrepreneur. He has got so many good things. He is the fun formula king. But I will tell you this. I know him on a personal level, and I want to talk to you about how he's changed my life. But did you guys know, before we get there, did you guys know that he was the first person who did an internet show called, do you remember this? This is the next Internet Millionaire show that he did. And this is back in the day. And so I know that you guys all know about, hi, there's the AdSense code, New York Times bestselling book. But he's got a bajillion books out. And so I brought up a couple that I really like. Twitter Power, that was really good. I really like that one. Here's my favorite. It came with the famous ka-ching button. That's right. And then last but not least that I really like, this one is Click Here to Order. These books taught me how to make 7 figures. And he also is the king of fun. He loves toys and he loves things. And there's the monkey. We see the flying monkey. And if you're any kind of Joe, he's got a spinner now.
Of course, I have a spinner.
Of course you do.
I have a cube.
He's got toys.
The
man believes that work should be fun. And I got to tell you, it wasn't fun until I met him. And I want to let you know that I told you guys I was only going to put the people in front of you that I knew were going to help you with what's coming through. And I know he can help you. This man was my coach. I hired him to be my coach. I've spent 8 hours at his house and we pulled apart a business and put it together. And here's how we do this. And he is the first person who taught me how to make $1. My first dollar on the internet came from Dan Nickerson and Joel Comm. They were the first to create software that actually worked. It was the ClickFunnels of its time. It was Socrates' theme. And what it did was make people who didn't want to learn HTML or weren't really good at HTML, kind of knew it just enough to be dangerous, and made it so that we could actually make $1 online. And since then, this man has taught me how to make 7 figures. So if you're looking how to go from your first dollar to 7 figures, today's show is where you're going to want to be. And I want to welcome you here, and I want to just dive right in. And I want to talk about one thing that most people don't know about you. And I'm like, today's take you out of the closet day. Okay. So I'm going to tell everybody the door's open. He's like, okay.
You can ask me anything. I'm an open book.
Okay. I want to let you know he is a futurist and one of the best in the world, a really, really top-notch futurist. And one of the things that I want to talk about today is a couple of the things that you think are important to know about the future in order for people to go ahead and embrace and look at and have a sense of what they should be doing based on the calamities or uncertainty that we see in the future?
Wow.
Big question.
It is
question.
it's a big and it's wide open. And I love
That's right.
wide open spaces. First of all, let me say thank you. The best part of that introduction to me is the part where I've been able to help you. Right.
Yes.
All of the other things, that's great. You know, books and accolades. Those are all, you know, I'm just a guy doing stuff. And when that stuff resonates with people, they want to learn more about what I do. But to know that whenever I hear that somebody has changed their life because of something that I've brought into their lives, that's really, isn't that what it's really all about? It's not about the money. Money comes, money goes. We've both made money. We've both lost money. Once you know how to make money,
you're good.
You're good. And then it's more about a lifestyle and fulfillment and doing good stuff. Really.
That's right. This is his brand, by the way. I know you guys see me wear it all the time, but it's time to do good stuff. That's what we're going to do today.
Do good stuff. Yeah. So, you know, what should people be doing? Well, first of all, you know, I like to say I never want to should on anybody. Right. Because, you know, there's 7.5 billion people in the world and there's so many colors on the color spectrum, you know, millions of colors that there's not a one size fits all. You know, that might apply to, you know, to a cap. Right. You know, or something like that you wear. But it doesn't apply to your personal life. You need to figure out where your interests really lie. That's what the book, The Fun Formula, is all about. If you look at my career over the last 25 years, I've tried a lot of things. I like to play in a lot of different sandboxes because I try building things. I just, you know, and I get bored with what I'm doing, but also, you know, when you're early to the game with AdSense and you teach it for years, it gets old. You know, there's other people that can carry the baton. When you're early to social media and you write books about Twitter, you know, I'm over it now. There's not going to be a Twitter Power 4.0 because there's so many new exciting things. So, you know, the first thing is, the question is not, how do I make money online? The question is, who am I? What interests me? Where is my curiosity? What am I all about? What difference, you know, what value do I want to bring to the world? And it's investigating those things and taking that first step. You know, it's easy to introduce me and talk about all these successes, right? But what you don't talk about is all the failures.
Yeah.
There are many. There's way more. I mean, whatever that list was of successes you just, you know, doled out there, the list of failures, you'd still be introducing me. Okay. If this was the failures, because entrepreneurs are not afraid to take risks. It is a core key part of succeeding as an entrepreneur and really in business in general, I think, but especially when you're dependent on you and your actions. You have to be willing to step up to the plate and swing for the fences. And that means you're going to strike out. Sometimes you'll get lucky and get on base because you got walked. And every now and then you get a hit. Oh, that was good. What did I do there? How did I get on first base? How did I get on second base? And then occasionally you get the home run or the grand slam. I love those baseball analogies because
I do too.
And I could go down through the different things in my career, and that would actually be really fun to do. Make a spreadsheet if I can remember all the things I've tried and put them under the baseball metaphors. Like I just had a grand slam just this last week, and it's the first one that I've had in about 10 years. You know, I've had some other big wins, but just had a grand slam here this last week, and it feels good. And it's like when you put yourself out there and you know that you're putting your heart and soul into it, and you're doing everything you can to share that message. And when it resonates with people and all the gears are falling in place and all the pistons are hitting and the synapses are firing, magic happens. And you go, I know this feeling. I've been here before.
I love that feeling. Love it.
It's lightning in a bottle. It really
is.
And sometimes you know when you got it, and sometimes it catches you by surprise. And sometimes you think that you've got it and you go and you try it and it goes nowhere. It fizzles and you're like, what? And it's only
what did I do? What happened?
It's in hindsight. And usually in hindsight, you can go, well, for me, some of my biggest failures, if I'm honest with myself afterwards, I'm like, you know, I really wasn't that into it. My heart wasn't in it. It wasn't in my wheelhouse of passion. I can see now why that failed. And so these days, if I don't really want to do it, I don't do it. People come to me with, offers to be part of their business, to be advisor. And if it doesn't resonate and make me come alive, I don't care how much money it's going to make. I don't want any part of it.
Yes. And God, did you hear that? Two things I want to say. One is, oh yes, I know when you swing for the fence and you swing and you miss. I know that one thing about entrepreneurship is not only are we willing to take risks, but when we do put ourselves 100% in, we try to make things work that our heart isn't in. And what would you say? Because this is a big thing for me. If I say yes and I'm committed, I'm 100% in, and I do the best work I can. That's just the thing of it. And when your heart's not in it and it fails and you're like, gosh, my heart wasn't in that. Oh, it's so important to pick those things that make you feel jazzed, that make you feel alive. Obviously, there are people now curious, and you don't have to divulge us if you don't want. But what is it? What's the grand slam that you just got?
Oh, no, I'm happy to share that.
Great, because there are other people that are like, hey, yeah, what is it?
Well,
so, of course, curious people.
For the past 3 years, I've been co-hosting the Bad Crypto podcast, because when I discovered what Bitcoin and cryptocurrency and blockchain were really all about in early 2017, the lights went on. And I was like, oh my gosh, when I discovered the World Wide Web in January of 1995, the lights went on, and I thought, this is where this is going. I'm going to build a website. And I did. 25 years ago, I built my first website. When I discovered blockchain and crypto and what it was really all about, how impactful and how world changing the technology is, I thought, oh my gosh, this reminds me of how I felt in 1995.
Me too.
This reminds me how I felt when I first heard about the iPhone. I bought the first iPhone in 2007. Built apps in 2008. I mean, because I knew I want to be a part of this. I don't know what it's going to do yet, but I want to be a part of it. And so I discovered blockchain and crypto, and Travis Wright, my good friend, and myself have been hosting a top crypto podcast now for 3 years.
That's right.
And we've gone down the rabbit hole of what that means to the realm of collectibles, because, in the past, everybody's bought packs of cards, right? Garbage pail kids or
baseball cards. Yeah.
And they're, you open the pack and they're cool, and you could touch them and you could trade them, and you have your mom throw them out, and get mad at her. All these things.
Yes. Right? Isn't there some Pogs or something like that? My son collected it.
Pogs were huge in the 90s. In fact, really interesting, because those are going to resurface next week as COGS. There is a group of people that it's COGSGG. They're launching next week on the Wax blockchain. So what we did is early this year, after COVID hit, we put on a virtual event, which was a huge success. And then our next move was to look at the various blockchain technologies that were out there. How do we create digital collectibles on blockchain with true scarcity, true ownership?
Brilliant.
In May of this year, we finally found the solution, because Topps, the trading card company, launched their garbage pail kids from 1985, the original set. They launched them on blockchain as digital collectibles, and they sold out the whole set of like 12,000 packs that they put out there, 110,000 cards in like 26 hours. And we discovered, with this technology, we can create our own digital collectibles. And we came up with this idea to create a set of 50 cards called Blockchain Heroes. They're really fun and interesting trading cards. They're superheroes that are inspired by real people in the blockchain and cryptocurrency world. They're parody cards, but they're beautiful cards. If you go to bcheroes.com.
I'm there. You guys go there.
You can see what they look like. Well, last Saturday, just this last week, we opened up the shopping cart to sell these. They sold out in about 20 minutes. the whole collection. And were it not for an overflow on their servers, which prevented about half the people from getting in, it would have been 5 to 10 minutes. Huge grand slam. The community has responded wonderfully. They're having so much fun with these cards. They're selling on the secondary market now for prices way above what retail were. And we're just getting started with this IP. It was a true grand slam. And we have the attention of those in the blockchain world because they saw what we just pulled off. And a lot of it really had to do with the marketing skills that we've developed. The product is quality. It's top notch. When you see these cards, you'll be like, damn, those are cool.
I've seen them. Right? I've seen them. I've watched you a couple of days now. I joined the group where you open the cards in the packs and take a look at them.
So people are responding wonderfully, and we're nurturing our community, and it's just been a lot of fun. And this is where I'm not, I'm still in the social media world, but I'm looking at sites that most of y'all aren't looking at. I'm looking at the next generation sites. Yes, I'm on Twitter. Yes, I'm on Facebook, because for now it's a necessary evil.
That's
evil,
right.
especially.
And I do mean evil. Yeah.
Both of those things, but there are new alternatives that are surfacing that empower people with privacy and with control of your content and rewarding you for content that gets engaged with. And that's because of the technology we know as blockchain.
Yeah. And I want to go there because this is one of the things that I really like about you. It's always been a deep conversation for us. Let's talk about why it's important to protect your privacy right now. And let's talk about ways that you do that, because, you introduced me to Brave, DuckDuckGo, and, those Steam It platforms where you actually get paid to build your content instead of just giving it away for free. What is happening? We got an echo right now.
Well, let's start with two that you just mentioned. Okay. A lot of people, they don't care about their privacy. Well, you don't care until it's violated in a way that you're aware of it. You don't look, the companies are selling you as a product. Google is in the business of selling you as a product. Are you getting paid for that? No, they are. Facebook, they are in the business of selling you. You are a commodity.
That's correct.
Silicon Valley companies. That's all. That's all. You are a commodity. How does that make you feel? Well, there are companies out there that don't treat their consumers that way. For example, you don't need to use Google as a search engine. Yes, you can use Bing. That's an alternative, but an excellent privacy-centric search engine that doesn't track you is DuckDuckGo, duckduckgo.com. I use it all the time. It's my default search engine. That doesn't mean I never use Google. I find that Google is useful for me when it comes to images. If DuckDuckGo doesn't give me what I want, I'll go to Google Images to search. But go to DuckDuckGo. Be private. Don't be tracked. Okay, the other thing you mentioned was a web browser. There's no reason to use Google Chrome. It's not essential. They're tracking every site you go to. There's a browser out there called Brave, brave.com. It is a privacy browser where you have complete control over the data that you share by default. On Chrome, by default, you're sharing everything. Not quite most things.
But still.
On Brave, it's the other way around, and they value you as a user. And if you want to see ads, when you see an ad, you earn cryptocurrency. It's called the Basic Attention Token, BAT for short. One BAT is worth about 20 cents or so right now. And the more you search, the more you use that browser, the more ads will pop up very, discreetly in the upper right corner. It's not like they're in your face, and you earn cryptocurrency. It's a privacy browser. There's no reason to use Chrome. Now, I am looking for ways to get off Google completely. The hardest thing to remove yourself from is the trilogy, the suite, mail, calendar, and documents, because let's face it, Google's built something amazing and they all work together so well. But there are alternatives. I'm looking at them right now because I want to port completely off Google. I don't want to be their commodity. I would rather pay a company to use a service and know that my privacy is valued and that I'm not being tracked through it, and maybe lose some of the functionality I'm used to with the Google suite of tools. But I'm empowered.
And I'm going to interrupt here right now because I think this is really important. I I have done a lot of business in my lifetime, and I always hear about gurus, 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 gurus. And I know Joel Comm is a pretty big influencer everywhere, and everybody knows who he is, and I get that. But the reason I hired him as my coach, because you imagine if I'm going to hire you, I know you're expensive, but here's what I want from you. The reason I hired him is because he was a futurist and he knew what was going to happen 10 years down the road. This is the guy that knows what's coming up. And so when we talk about privacy right now, he said most people don't care about their privacy. And it's the why should you care about your privacy? Because it's not just that you're being commoditized, you're also being cyber theft, identity theft right now in ways that you cannot even imagine. They can steal your home. They can steal so much from you, take loans out. Privacy is a big issue. It's not always about, well, you want to be private because you're selling something illegal. No, privacy is a fundamental right that blockchain, and one of the things I like about the future of blockchain is that it's going to dissolve a lot of corruption. And one of the things that he just said is, if you're looking at how to transform your life from being a commodity to actually earning income and being valued, he just gave that to you. Some of these things that you can start implementing right now. Now, I will tell you, he's giving you the future ahead of time so that when it starts getting ramped up, you'll be used to using it and doing it. A couple of things I want to go out here. Let's switch a little bit to cryptos. And I'm not going to say, what do you think is the best ones coming up? We all have our investments. I want to go basic. How long do you think we have before cryptos becomes absolutely center and mainstream? And that I know that's a hard question to call, but at the same time, the future is pretty uncertain right now, and I have a feeling it's better.
I think it's accelerating because of what's going on in the world. Let me say this: I'm not a financial advisor, and when everything I say about this is my personal opinion. So you have to go do your own due diligence and be responsible for your own finances. Do not buy any cryptocurrency just because I mention it. You make sure you know what you're doing, because a lot of people don't know what they're doing. It's like when Facebook says boost this ad and people click the button thinking that they're going to get a bunch of views. That is the casino slot machine button on Facebook. That's not the way to run ads on Facebook. There is a more intricate mechanism that they have set aside. That's the sucker button. Okay, so when somebody tells you buy this coin or buy that coin, that's the sucker button. You are responsible for your own finances and go do your own due diligence. Okay, so there's my disclaimer, which I think is really important, because nobody gets to come back and say, well, Joel told me to buy. No, I did not. Are we clear?
That's right.
We're good.
That's right. We're good.
All right. Same goes, I'm assuming, for Vickie, unless you are a financial advisor, but I'm not sure that you are.
I have been for 10 years and stuff, but I'm not licensed now.
You're a good stuff doer. That's what you are.
That's right. Good stuff doer. Good stuff advisor.
I think, the world economy is what we've seen is even the U.S. economy is somewhat fragile, right? Because you can have a virus come in, and whatever you think of whether, the shutdowns were needed or not, they happened. And a lot of people were shut out of their businesses and their livelihood, right? And that you never know what can happen. Life is the only certainty about life is that it's uncertain. And the Federal Reserve has put more money into the system in the last few months than in the past 2 centuries. Okay, just so you get an idea of what's going on. So for every dollar that is it comes off the Federal Reserve printing presses, the value of your dollar goes down.
That's right.
They're putting billions and billions and trillions of dollars into the economy. So fiat currency in itself is a scam, always has been. They always collapse. They always go to zero. All you have to do is look at Venezuela and South America, which, 15 years ago was the pride of South America, wealthy, lavish nation, and socialism has absolutely destroyed it. It takes ridiculous amounts of bolivar. The bolivar is not worth the money, the paper it's printed on. And so it's pretty much worthless. And people there are, they're starving, they're poor, it's bad. And we're going to get to the point where the dollar is also going to be worthless. And so we're looking at alternatives. This is why you see precious metals going up. Gold hit an all-time high last week, over $2,000 an ounce. Silver is out of its,
29.
Yeah, it hit $29, I think. And so whenever you see precious metals rising, that's because people are losing confidence in the dollar. So that brings us to cryptocurrencies. And that is that cryptocurrencies provide a new decentralized way to transact, removing the middleman from the situation, removing corruption and fraud. I'm talking about legitimate cryptocurrencies, because even in the crypto world, there are scammers, right? Anywhere there's money, you're going to find people trying to steal, to benefit themselves. But the technology itself of blockchain is a decentralized technology with a public ledger. Everything is verifiable. You can't hack it. There's no errors on it except human errors that are made. And it's the future. It's here now, right? We are in the early adopter phase. There is not a government on earth, a Fortune 500 company that is not either already built something on blockchain, is building now, or realizes they need to research and get there fast, or they're going to be left behind. Blockchain technology is going to disrupt more industries than the mobile phone did, right? Blockchain technology is going to do to companies what Netflix did to Blockbuster, what Amazon did to retail, what Apple did to Nokia. It's going to destroy, it's going to reshape. And whatever industry you're in, whether you're travel or real estate or retail, insurance, health, whatever it is you're doing, blockchain is going to disrupt your industry. And so you need to get educated on what it is and how it can be used in your industry, or you might wake up and find out you've been blockbustered or Netflix.
Yeah, and that's so important right now. What he just said is one of the most powerful things that can happen now. I've been talking about it over a year now, talking about it, and those applications. Blockchain is the new internet. It is going to change the face of everything that we do. It is going to change the face of work, but it's also, right now, he said something that was interesting for me. And I will tell you this, I feel like cryptocurrencies and blockchain are like Microsoft in the garage. We're still at the early adopter stages of this. And this is a time right now where he said, get educated. And and I don't mean read one book and you're educated. I mean, read 4 or 5 books, get involved. I want to let you know there's something you can do now. You can go to Coinbase/earn. Coinbase/earn, and you can earn some free cryptos that will help you by simply learning. They give you a training, they get you educated, and they give you a little crypto to start. And I think you can earn, like right now, up to $161 in free crypto just to go ahead and train and learn how to use these cryptos. One of the things that happens, though, is that you get familiar with how to use cryptos and you get to learn it. The money that you earn will grow over time as well. It's a great way to start and get yourself educated. The future has a window of opportunity right now that is a short space. This is the short space we're talking about today. I think I brought you the #1 expert on this in the world, in my opinion, right now, about the future, about how to look at the future and how to get the future out. And if you take advantage of what he is saying, I'm telling you, you will be better off just by understanding how the future is going to operate. So, and I want to go over here. I think everybody is Here, I've read so much about blockchain and it still makes zero sense to me. That is an interesting question. And I'm wondering, what is the complexity thing? And here's another question, Kathy. How do we get educated? What do we do? So one of the first things is that Coinbase. What would you suggest? Where would you suggest they start learning?
Well, there's a ton of great videos, on YouTube. Just look for what is Bitcoin, what is blockchain, and look for the simple explainer videos, right? They got the little animated cartoons and they'll show you it really, once you get it, once it clicks, then it opens up this whole world to you. But just what I want you to do is think of blockchain technology as a more sophisticated, more accurate, more secure, more public database, a more public ledger. Right? Yeah. Right now, you remember the world of checks, right? We would write a check and then we would write in the ledger. We wrote that check and then we would balance our checkbook, a skill that, they don't need to teach anymore. But when we were younger, you needed to learn how to balance a checkbook. Well, let's say you paid a bill and then the recipient says, oh, I never got that check. Now you got to call your bank. Now you got to track it. Now you got to figure out where did that money go? Oh, they did cash the check. Or, there was a double payment or it got lost or bounced. With blockchain, when you make a payment, not only is it super fast. I mean, Bitcoin transactions can take as little as, 5-10 minutes. Other cryptocurrencies are instant. Like if I use a cryptocurrency called Stellar or one called Wax, I could send you crypto, push a button, and it's in your wallet. It's done.
Just like that.
Not only is it super fast, but it's all documented publicly. All you have to do, every transaction made has a link that shows you there's a transaction. This amount went from this wallet to this wallet at this time. It's been verified. It's there. I can see the money. It's done. Think about that. Just that alone as payments. Forget about all the other applications. Just as payments and in banking, think how many man hours, millions or billions of dollars are spent just to do support on transactions, on billing gone wrong, on money not found. Blockchain solves that completely. There's no dispute because everybody can see the ledger, can see the transaction. There's no saying, oh, I didn't get the money. No, it's right there. There it is. It's written on blockchain. It's permanent. It replaces. So that's just payments. Now expand that, Vickie, to contracts of all kinds. Expand that to royalty payments, right? Expand that to dividends paid out by companies. Everything being tracked in a more secure, responsible, transparent way.
Full transparency.
This is why it's going to disrupt everything.
Everything. I want to go over here. Donnie says crypto is a nonstop education. It's consistently evolving. The never-ending story. Fair value and equal exchange can be the new reality. That's what's happening here. I hear an echo. All the replacement systems are nearly in place for the financial system to collapse and then be rapidly replaced by blockchain. Learning about cryptos is a process. It's almost a way of life. I love it. Everyone should go deep dive by dedicating a full weekend to educating themselves in this financial inevitability. My favorite Bitcoin documentary, The Rise of the Bitcoin. It'll change how you see the world forever. Yes.
Another great one is on Netflix. It's called Banking on Bitcoin. That's a great starter kit. And then, of course, I would be remiss if I didn't say go subscribe to the Bad Crypto Podcast.
Yes, he's got the number one crypto podcast in the world.
It's not the number one in the world, but I appreciate the vote of confidence.
I thought it was number one.
It is popular. You're number one as far as I'm concerned.
You just know what to say to a girl.
There you go. We do have a sizable audience, and it appeals to a certain group. There's some podcasts out there that are very popular that are more technology minded, more financial minded. Our show is called the Bad Crypto Podcast, not because crypto is bad, but because we have a sense of humor, and we bring our broadcasting ability and our ability to make seemingly complex subject matter easy to understand and digest. So we call call it the show for the crypto curious and the crypto serious. And, we ask questions in layman fashion so that people understand it. And because we're still wrapping our heads around it, new technology in blockchain services. And we're like, oh, what is this DeFi, decentralized finance? What do you mean I can be my own bank? And we're just learning more about that right now. So badcryptopodcast.com. It's available on every podcast player in the universe and maybe some outside the universe as well. Expect a lot of great guests, expect the latest news, and a lot of bad dad jokes.
Bad dad tax.
some fart jokes too. I mean, it's all.
I want to say, okay, I have to tell you, this guy had and has several times had the number one app purchased on iTunes, and it's just shows that the bad dad jokes and the little boyishness. It was an iFart app. This guy is the inventor of that iFart app that's just there. He's got it on his phone. Everybody downloaded it with that iFart thing, and I've seen it be number one 3 different times throughout its there it is. Go ahead.
Oh my, I've got it on silent but deadly. There, my phone was muted. So that's
that fun formula that we're talking about right there. So here's the thing with the future and the cryptos and everything else. Can we talk about the world of work? I want to get your opinion because I know you're a serial entrepreneur. What would you say to somebody right now who has lost their job and said, I want to let you know that the future, you can do this about it. You can start to learn this. One is cryptocurrencies. And I want to let you know, I bought cryptos when they were in the low hundies and pennies and everything else. And I will tell you, it has done me well. I really think cryptos are an exciting time to buy. But let's say I lost my job. I got laid off. My job is gone. What would you say to somebody who is starting?
Well, first of all, I'd say I'm sorry and perhaps congratulations, because I've discovered every time I lost a job or one of my failures took place in my business, it just opened up new doors and new opportunities that I might not have ever seen had those circumstances not changed. It always feels bad at the time, but every time I actually lost a job before I was an entrepreneur, it was always a blessing, always. So, it's all about your attitude. And I would start right there to say, all right, I lost my job. I'm out of work. I don't know how I'm going to pay my bills. This is great. There's a world of opportunity. And a lot of people, they see their lives as, well, this is what I do. This is what I was trained to do. And they see it like this. The reason I've been able to succeed in so many different arenas and fail in them is because I look at things like this. I have my peripheral vision open. There's so much opportunity out there for people that are innovative and smart and willing to take risks and apply their talents, skills, abilities, and passion to something that will bring value to the world. So get out of the box. You might have gone to school to become a CPA, but you're no longer a CPA because that firm shut down and nobody's hiring right now. I'm like, well, what do I do? Well, what do you want to do? I want to make money. No, that's not what you want to do. That's a byproduct of
what you want to do.
What you want to do. There's a lot of byproducts of what you want to do. You want to be satisfied. I said that's a byproduct of what you want to do. Now, I'm not speaking to anybody out there that is a single mom with 4 kids and like, if you don't get work right away, there's going to be huge problems. Find a job. Okay. Yeah. Unless you have your specific entrepreneurial idea that you can execute on without having a bankroll, get a job and do what you need to do. Get help, right? For if you can, from city or from charitable organizations. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about those of us, you've got a little wiggle room, right? There's so much opportunity. There's this philosophy that we've been taught our whole lives that we're supposed to be persistent when a door in front of us is closed. That thing could seem like it's cemented shut, and you're just supposed to keep ramming at it and ramming at it and ramming at it till that door comes down. And I've always thought that seems silly to me. And I feel like it would hurt a lot too, both physically to keep running into this door that's cemented shut, but emotionally it wear me out. There's doors and windows everywhere. There are humans everywhere. And so there are needs and desires and problems to be solved everywhere. Ask yourself, what problems am I adept at solving? Are they with a certain skill or ability that I have? Can I solve a problem with my sense of humor? Right? I mean, when we made the iFart app, that's purely entertainment. That's to make people laugh. And we made millions of people laugh all over the world. That solves a problem because people need to laugh. It's a simple app. It took us 3 weeks to develop. And then the marketing expertise that I had acquired up to that point to bring the message out, and probably a little divine intervention, I would say, because I think God has a sense of humor too. So, look at all the opportunity around you. Forget running into that door. Stop doing that. Look around. Where is there more opportunity? Oh, look, there's a door over there that's cracked open a little bit. What's going on in there? Oh, look, there's a window over there. I hear something happening over there. This is all metaphorical, right? Y'all are tracking with me. What is that sound over there? And that's you paying attention to something that's happening in the news, something that's trending on Twitter. What's that all about? That interests me. Let me investigate a little bit further. Let me peek inside that door. Oh, look, that door there. I've got an idea to solve that problem. Nobody's doing it. It's wide open. I'm going to walk right into that. Opportunities.
This is so important what he says. I have a new book coming out, actually. It's called Sink or Swim. It is the SOS guide for the next decade, 2020 to 2030. And in there, the first thing that I go over are the 12 strongest problems in the world, because within those 12 strongest problems, there's the most opportunity, because these are problems that need to be solved, that you could be interested in, that you could be passionate about, that you could be looking for. And one of the things that you said right now that I think is so interesting is that we don't pay attention to what we pay attention to. And there are so many keys, so many opportunities in just paying attention to that. And that book, the one we have written, is about actually moving from this mindset over here of forcing yourself. Now, just like you said, if you're a single mom with 4 kids, go get a job, do what you need to do. But then when you get to that place, and I've been in this place, when I first started looking at the internet things, I had to work a job and figure that business out. And once I figured the business out, I could let go of the job because this business just made money. And he said something very interesting that everybody needs to pay attention to right now. When you learn to make money on the internet, you only have to learn it once. You can do it forever from then. He said that at the beginning. That's the most important thing that you could take away today. You have to learn cryptocurrencies once. You only have to learn how to make money online once. Then they're your skills, right? So I want to tell you, I don't have to tell you how I feel about Joe. You guys know that. He's been a great coach for me. He's been outstanding at everything he did. And if you are looking to work with him, I don't even know if he's accepting people right now, but how could they be involved with you? How could they talk to you, know more about you? And of course the podcast, but
Sure.
How else?
Well, I'm all over. I'm the only Joel Comm in the world of my knowledge. I don't know if there's another
They do like to replicate, though.
They do replicate. I have huge violations of my profile pictures being stolen all the time. Almost every day I get emails from somebody telling me that either anyway, I don't want to talk about that. I have verified profiles. So if they're not coming from my verified profiles, they're not me. joelcomm.com is my blog. I write there occasionally when I find time. All my social profiles are at Joel Comm. You can find me there. I'm not currently coaching anybody. I'm really
lucked out
in what we're doing with blockchain right now. I am willing to entertain doing 1 hour coaching sessions with those of you that are interested. I'm not cheap because I want to make sure
worth it. He's worth it.
And my time. But you can reach out to me on my website at joelcomm.com, hit the contact me. Those come right to me. Tell me a little bit about yourself, who you are, what your problem is. Hey, what's your problem? Tell me, what questions you have, and let's determine if there's a good fit for us to have a coaching session.
Yeah, thank you. I'm going to tell you best coaching sessions you can have. I want to let you know I've only hired 2 coaches in my life too. I'm super particular. I'm not afraid to spend the money because I know I'm going to make money on the back end. And the 2 coaches that I've hired, you're going to be meeting. He is the second coach I hired. And changed my life forever. And everybody always talks about wanting to change your life. Everybody always talks about wanting to go to the next level. And are you willing to do the work that happens? If you spend an hour with Joel, if you spend an hour with him and he can absolutely transform something about what you do and it can become profitable, I can speak from experience. You'd be crazy not to work with him. And finally, we're getting towards the top of the hour and I want to be respectful, but Martin Wales is over here saying hello.
Martin.
I found oh, look at this. I found out I'm the president of an oil company. At least my picture is the CEO. I've called him and said, I think it was an Italian thing. I was like, hey, this is Joel. And I clicked on it and I was like, this isn't Joel. Who is this? So, you quickly IM and I'm going, for some reason, they love to duplicate him. He is everywhere. I want one last final thing.
Okay.
Your top 3 pieces, and I don't mean of advice, but I mean advice for right now, for people who are afraid of what's going on, who are confused about whether this is a pandemic, a hoax, a this, a that. 3 pieces of advice for them so they can ground down a little bit and be with themselves.
Well, the first thing is don't be afraid. And I know that's, it's one thing to say it, it's another thing to apply it, but fear doesn't serve you at all. Unless there is immediate threat to, your life, somebody's coming at you to attack you. And yes, I can understand being afraid then. That is not the imminent threat here. And fear will not serve you. If you are going to be afraid, take away what, it's so funny that sometimes from a silly TV show, you'll get a piece of advice that you can actually try and apply. Do you remember the show Lost?
Yes. So, yes, I do. Long time.
Jack was the doctor, and in the first episode, when it came to fear, he told one of the other people that were stranded, okay, here's how you handle fear. Close your eyes and feel it fully, count to 5. Feel the fear fully for 5 and then let it go and move on. Because then your mind, your soul is freed up to focus on solutions rather than the problem. Okay. Second thing is question everything.
Yes.
Everything. I'm not saying it's a pandemic. I'm not saying it's not. But question everything. Do your own research. I can tell you with demonstrable proof that the media has turned into propaganda. And if you think you're getting real news from mainstream media, and I mean all of them, okay, then you are being fooled and they are fooling you. And that's all they want to do is they want to get you thinking and believing a certain way about whatever the issues are, whether they're people or issues. They are there to have a psychological operation to control what you believe, think, and feel about what's going on. So question everything. And the third piece of advice I would give is live your life. We all go around once, and take chances, do things, go places, hug people, give back, do good stuff, and realize that, it's really, our circumstances could be dire, but what you do with them is really up to you. And I think there's really great examples of this when you hear about people who have gone to developing nations, what we used to previously, before political correctness, call third world nations. And you discover the people that are there that live in these circumstances. There's 2 types of people, even in those circumstances, those that are downtrodden and are hopeless, and those that find joy in life, even in the worst of circumstances. So, if you're watching this right now, you are wealthy, because there are countries that internet, a computer, a device. I mean, I know there's a lot of them that now have phones, but there's a lot of places that don't have access to technology. You're wealthy. be blessed, bless others, and go forward with your life.
Yeah.
There you go. 3 pieces of advice.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And it's interesting. Those are timeless pieces, classic pieces, and they're so fundamentally, foundationally truthful. Joel, I always feel so grateful when I get a chance to connect with you. A, we're both so busy, and B, it's funny, we're both so busy and we only live about 3.5 hours from each other, but
You're
we're
right
busy
over
in
there,
a way.
by the way.
Yeah, you're right over there, over there.
I'm facing south, and actually I'm going to show you something.
Yeah.
Let me turn my camera around.
Love to.
Give you guys
take a look.
There's the Rocky Mountains right there.
Yeah, I see them off in the distance.
So that way off there is Colorado Springs. So Pueblo is down.
That's right.
That
Way down south. I'm actually closer to New Mexico than I am Denver. But I always love these 3 pieces of advice. Joel, you're a fountain of wisdom. You guys, if you want to get in touch and be with Joel, be on the podcast, go get in touch with him. If you want to work with him, send him an IM, but do me a favor, say I was on Vickie's show so he can reference this and know where it is. Joel, it has been so fun. You have changed my life. I love you, man. And thank you for being on the show with us today. Everyone, thank you for being with us live today. It has been so freaking fun. We have the fun formula here. That's the Coffee Break Show today. Joel Comm, you rock. Oh, mwah.
Thanks,
See you guys later. Bye.